Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, A Wandering Dork with me, Daniel. It's Season 2, Episode 6, and today we're back as the title race hots up. We're into the second half of the season, and we've got two massive games coming up today. We've got quite a bit of action off the pitch as well, so we better go and get into it. And we start on the profile of Aaron Presley. He's the second young forward at the club, and as you can see from the top of the screen, he's finally signed a deal as well. It's only till the end of this year, so I'm not getting too excited yet. But none of our players on a pay-as-you-play anymore, not out of the first 16 that we wanted. So I'm really happy with that situation. He's doing okay for us, he's got 8 goals now, and fingers crossed he'll continue to improve as a result, and he'll be training more regularly with the side as well. But firstly, before we go and have a look at all the off-the-pitch action and then get into our two games, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the series. If you are enjoying this save with Dorking, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. And if you're new to the channel, then subscribe for daily FM20 content. A reminder at this point that we start our new schedule from next Monday. That's when the FM20 edition of The Head Coach will start, and then we'll just rotate the 2 long-term stories each day. But of course we've got one more crucial episode with Luton first, and that'll be here at the weekend beforehand. So I hope you're looking forward to The Head Coach as much as I am. It's been a brilliant save for us the last couple of years. Of course, he's a journeyman with the Director of Football Challenge intertwined, so he leaves plenty of room for things to go wrong. But let's go to the home screen to see why things are a bit more tense than they should be today. The gap at the top of the league is down to 4 points. Dulwich Hamlet been on a brilliant run, and we've started dropping points galore for some reason, and I think that reason is the update to the game. So this is the first episode I'm recording since the update to the beta. It obviously contained a lot of match engine changes, and that seems to be causing us some difficulty. We've drawn 3 games in a row, and we've lost 1 or 2 as well, and we're now just 4 points clear of our closest chasers. The good news is that no one else should be able to catch us, but today we've got 2 very tricky games. Our return fixture against Havant and Waterlooville, they're chasing a playoff place and they beat us in the first half of the year, and then away to 3rd place Chippenham Town, who have had a fantastic season and defied all odds. So no action on the transfer front since the last episode, so let's get straight in and have a look at the schedule. It's obviously been about 2.5 months, but we haven't had that many league games, a lot of ones in the FA Trophy, most of which have gone to replays. We've often featured our backup side, so there's not too much to focus on there, only 10 or 11 matches in the league, and you can see where our form's just starting to struggle. So after the Scunthorpe FA Cup tie, a brilliant game last time round, we drew 0-0 at home to Billericay. We had one eye on the cup tie in midweek, the replay against the League 2 side, so I can't really complain about that. We lost 2-0 there, and Jake Gallagher sent off in the first half. Without that, I think it could have been a close game, but unfortunately he let us down there, and we bowed out at the first round stage. We then drew 0-0 at home to Havant and Waterlooville in the FA Trophy before beating them on penalties in the replay, and then a 4-2 victory at Truro, bottom of the league side at the time, Pryor with a brace, Richardson Reed, all of the old guard turning up with goals. Then a 3-0 win at home to East Thurrock, Georgie with a brace and Jason Pryor, before another draw in the FA Trophy, followed by a replay win against Bath. 2 late goals from first teamers off the bench, but we got through and that was the most important bit. Then away to Kingstonian, who were up in 4th as a promoted side. They've had a wonderful season. Dylan Duncan has been brilliant both times we've played against them, and they managed to sneak a win in that one. Don't know why it's reset us to the bottom of the page there, but a 3-2 win for Kingstonian despite Jake Gallagher's late goal. We ended the game against 9 men, but the red cards came a bit too late, though we did get back to winning ways against St Albans. Jake Gallagher again sent off, but not before he got the winner from the spot. Then a 5-2 win away to Weymouth, Cameron Archer with a hat-trick in that one, and then a 4-1 victory away to Slough, probably our best performance in this calendar year so far. Then a 2-0 win at home to Borehamwood, the pre-season title favourites that have really struggled, again Cameron Archer with a brace, before a 3-1 defeat at Ebbsfleet with a Georgie consolation goal. We played a backup side for the most part, and we didn't really expect to get through. And in 3 successive draws, and 2 of them have been really disappointing. We drew away at Oxford City, a nothing 0-0 match. Then at home to Dartford we conceded from 2-0 up, and managed to give away the points. And then away to Hemel Hempstead we did exactly the same, scoring the early goal and then conceding in the second. So throwing away points from winning positions, certainly not the sign of champions, though we go into today with no injuries or suspensions, and Havant and Waterlooville are missing a few. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get back to winning ways. We certainly need it after the last few, but there is one bit of news we've got to go through beforehand, and it's a massive important one for this stage of the club. We mentioned in the last episode the tug of war over the consortium battle, taking over the club, and David Sharp, the old Wigan owner did get there, and as a result we're back in the black financially. We've got a little loan, but it's only 200 grand, so he must have written off most of the debt, and although they haven't put our wage budget back up, they have stabilised the club finances entirely. So of course we were expected to reach the playoffs this year, and we're definitely going to be in the top 2, but having been 11 points clear at the end of the last one, it would be devastating if we didn't win it now. Of course we've still got 12 games to go, so we could start to crumble even more, but I'm hoping we'll get back to winning ways today, and we'll be able to start celebrating victory. I've brought you back slightly early because I did have one moment of panic. I've thought about signing this guy Josh DeBio. A lot of our goals are coming from our poor left back area, and this guy seemed a solution, but I've only just noticed he's only a wing back, so we're going to have to cancel that deal despite him having 4-star ability. So we're going to skip through to kick-off now, and we'll be back in a moment for the game against Havant. Well, into our first game against Havant and Waterlooville then. Really big match for us as we need to get a win. Not the best head-to-head record against them. And of course they absolutely dominated the first time we played and joined us at the top of the league early in the season. But our team for today shows a few good partnerships, and that shows something else that's been fixed in the beta. So it's Hale Brown in goal, Vaughan and Grant are the fullbacks, Harbottle and O'Dwyer join at centre-half, Whelan and Gallagher in central midfield, Lopez and Richards on the wings, and then Presley and Archer together up front, Jason Pryor having to make do with a substitute place. If we look at the squad, that's the one other bit of news. Everyone's signed a new contract now. Nearly all the players we want to keep are here next year, just the front 2 we haven't been able to get yet. Arthur Reed's the only other one I'd really like to keep, so hopefully there'll be some news on those 3 soon. But the financial stability has enabled us to do so much, so let's get into this first game today and see if we can reward the owner on the pitch. It's a 4-3-3 for Havant, again a usual formation for them. We don't see it that often at this level of the game, but we're going to go and encourage the lads, and we've just got to try and beat that midfield battle. They're going to try and play it around with the extra man, but we need to get it direct to the front 2. 10 minutes gone and nothing's really happened, though we're back with a Dorking free kick, and that is an awful kick clash. Who let that happen? Something else that could do with fixing. But Archer's in from the free kick, and he's scored into the top corner. Harbottle clipped a simple ball over the defence, and Archer's back in form early on. 9 minutes gone, we lead 1-0, and I hope those kits don't cause a problem. Throwing on the right hand side, a quarter of the game gone. Vaughan plays it to the target man Presley. Into Whelan in midfield, he's tried to find that ball. Good through ball to Archer. Out to Lopez on the right and he tries to cross. But in the end it just goes straight through to the keeper. Not the best delivery from the winger, who will be hoping to try and sign next year. He is improving and getting good out on that side. He's now displaced Georgie permanently. It's Fogden in a holding role for Havant though. Long ball forward only finds Harbottle. He set one up already with a long ball and he's gone for the same again. Oh, it was almost the same result. Archer put it just wide as I was about to celebrate, but we've been brilliant in this first half an hour. 1-0 lead and it could have been more, and we tend to the break we've got to try and extend it. Well, half-time and Dulwich Hamlet took a late lead against Slough, so we'll be hoping our old FM19 side can do us a favour. But we've got the lead and we've been playing brilliantly, and we're yet to even see a shot for Havant and Waterlooville. They've had none on target in the entire match, so hopefully we'll be able to keep it up. It's Richards with a corner from the left. Taylor wins it at the front post for Havant, but it's back in and O'Dwyer heads it. What a goal that is. The 2 men at the front post working again, and the centre-half doubles our lead at home. A brilliant result, and it looks like we're getting back to winning ways, but we did get excited against Dartford a couple of games ago, so I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious for now. An hour gone and we lead 2-0, and Dulwich still have the lead at Slough. Look at our former right back Lewis Ramsey. He's moved over to Havant and he's got an awful rating today. But with 20 minutes to go, we need to make some subs. Again, it's our fullbacks that are struggling. Particularly a left back is happening every game, but we don't really have too many alternatives. I'm going to drop Richards back for this one. Bring on Georgie on the left wing. He's been solid for us all year, so no problem bringing him on. And then Adebayo's going to come on in central midfield, as is Callum Bailey alongside him. The 2 youngsters going to get a run out. Let's see if they can help us keep this lead. Well, I don't know if you've seen what's happened at the bottom there. It's 2-2 between Slough and Dulwich Hamlet. 3 very quick goals and the home side have 2 of them. And this could extend our lead back to 6. But as we say that, Havant are coming forward on the right. Ramsey, our former right back down the line. Owen Evans did well against us last time round. And he finds Ramsey on the overlap. He's got 2 in the box if he can find them. Harbottle heads it away. And Richards can't quite get there. Looked like a midfielder at the back there. He didn't quite have the defensive nous. And as a result, it's Havant again. Into the box and cleared away. Lopez working back there. Brilliant effort, but now they're in one-on-one. And thankfully it's disallowed for offside. I was about to go ballistic at the defending there, but with 10 to go we keep our 2-goal lead. Into stoppage time, and I've got to be honest, I'm watching the bottom of the screen more than the top. I don't really care what's happening in our game. We win 2-0, a really good performance, the best we've performed in about a month, probably since the game against Slough ironically, who I think have just done us a massive favour. Did they hang on? They did. Slough drew 2-2 with Dulwich, and we're back to 6 points clear at the top. These lads certainly playing up to the camera. Let's very quickly see what the media said about the game. Quality finishing the difference. Archer on form, he scored a good early goal, and that's set us on our way to a comfortable victory. Dorking make it 8 unbeaten, so it's not all been bad at the top for us. It's just because 3 of them in a row were draws, it allowed Dulwich back into the title race. Just before we get into the next game, I wanted to show you one good thing from the staffing as well, again related to the board takeover. They're allowing us to have an extra coach and scout. Scouting's been a massive problem for us. During the season we get all these 18 and 19 year olds to scout, and we may well be missing out on some, because in positions where we're well covered I don't bother scouting them, as it's generally taking 4, 5, 6 weeks to get the reports back, as we've only got 2 scouts chasing 20 players a week. So I've had to manage that well, and an extra scout will really help, and an extra coach will support our fitness training, which you can see is clearly our weakest area. But let's get ahead to the game next weekend. Of course, another massive one in the title race. We're playing away at Chippenham Town, a side that have performed really well this year. They're up in 4th place on 64 points, and due to their brilliant performances, let's go and see if they've got anyone we recognise. I've seen that Jamie Maskell pick up in reports a few times, worth over £30,000 at this level. Other than that, there's not too many reputable players. I think they must just be having a blinding season. So let's get forward to the game next weekend and hope we can extend our lead in the title race. Well, time for the second game of the episode then. Dulwich Hamlet are home to Billericay. That's the game we've got to keep an eye on aside from ours. Away to the 4th place side, this is going to be a really tricky test, and I'm hoping we'll be able to end that winless run against Chippenham. You can see in our 3 previous meetings we've drawn 2 and lost 1, and they're in very strong form, whereas that win against Havant was our first win in 5, so we're certainly not in the best spirit coming into it. In terms of the lineup, I want to stick with the same 11, though I'm really struggling at left back. Whichever one I put in is performing absolutely awfully, and I'm just not sure which one to go for in truth. I'll be honest with you, I'd quite happily drop both of them. We've been desperately trying to sign this left back from Ebbsfleet. I recognised his name as soon as he came up in the scout reports. Had a couple of years as a youngster at Luton. He really is a decent player for this level, but unfortunately he wants 700 quid a week. We're not paying him as the highest paid player at the club, when he's not going to be that strong moving forward. Probably only just an improvement for this year. Again, I could put Rich as left back and Georgie in the middle. Don't want to go for that yet. Lopez had a poor game last time round. Georgie's going to come in for him, but aside from that it will be the same 11. We will make a couple of changes on the bench. We've got Kyron Bailey, who's been on the bench because of his training performances. Not had a good week this week, but for 2 in a row, Cavan has been the best performer, so I think it's time we give him a chance again. That means that our 11 for today, exactly the same bar Georgie in for Lopez, and on the bench we've got Kavanagh in for Bailey, and of course Lopez is now on there too. So let's get into the game and see if we can get another win. It could be a very crucial one in deciding the title. Into the game is a 4-4-2 for Chippenham, and I just realised something else I've forgotten to show you as well. Haven't shown you the preview for our youth intake this year, so I'll make sure I do that before we polish off the episode, and then you won't have so much of a surprise in the next one when you see all the players coming through. 10 minutes gone, we've encouraged the lads to pick up where they left off, and now it's early on a Chippenham free kick. Tucker delivering from just inside their half, into the back post which Vaughan clears, and now we've got a counter on Tom Richards on the break. It's a 2-on-2, it's out to Presley, he's got Archer up in support but he's going alone, he shoots, it's a brilliant save, point blank effort, it's a brilliant bit of goalkeeping, and now we've got a corner to try and take advantage from. We'll have our 2 men attacking the near post, Presley and O'Dwyer will be there, can either of them win it? No they can't, it's headed back out to Georgie. We've got a corner on the other side just 2 minutes later, O'Dwyer heads over the bar, and with 15 gone it's going to be 0-0, but we've had a couple of really good chances already. In fact we're not going to carry on, it's gone straight out from the goal kick, Archer winning a pretty poor effort, it's pouring down with rain and this must be affecting the players. The goal kicks in particular haven't been great. Canarich coming forward on the edge of the box, long ball forward down to Chippenham left, it's flicked on and they've got a few men committed forward here, they seem to be throwing men at attacks, and now Farr's got the ball in the middle and he's trying to create an opening. Out to the left hand side to Maskell, the man we highlighted pre-match, is a great ball in, and Bremang's put it in the back of the net. Harbottle couldn't keep up with him. 1-0 Chippenham and we're back to losing ways, and now we're relying on a Billericay favour. We've got a warning to close the goal scorer down a little bit too late there. Presley flicks on a goal kick as we're going to ask to demand more from the lads. Maskell charging forward again though, and he's just run through the whole team. He shoots and thankfully it's a wayward effort, but that was far too easy for him to get through. 25 minutes gone, it's not been a good start, and I don't know where the goal's coming from in truth. Well, not only are we losing at the break, we have been absolutely outclassed. We're going to aggressively ask the lads where the passion is, all bar Freddie Grant responding with motivation, and hopefully they'll perform that way in the second half, that there's plenty of candidates to be substituted. O'Dwyer with a free kick just outside his own box, Presley flicks it on towards Archer, but Strachan's there and they're defending us so easily, we really don't look like getting a goal at all. O'Dwyer heads away to Whelan. In the centre circle he's got time, finds Gallagher who goes forward, but it's another wayward pass, and Chippenham in with a long ball over the top. Surely it can't be that easy. It's 2-0, it's woeful defending. Absolutely awful performance. And now we're going to have to make sure we go very attacking and just try and get something out of this game. We're going to demand more and we're going to go and make changes, and hopefully the lads we bring on can respond. The big question here is, who do we take off? There's so many of them that have been woeful. We're going to make our usual change on the left side. Richards to left back, Kavanagh's coming on for him. Lopez is going to come on for Giorgi, and I think I've got to take Archer off. Jason Pryor needs to be on the pitch. He's one of the few who can change the game with a goal. So he's going to come on and Presley will be the advanced forward, and we've just got to hope that the gamble pays off. Half an hour to go, it's still 2-0 down, and Chippenham have been by far the better side. Is a throw at left back for Richards, up to Presley up front, he holds it up for Kavanagh the sub, back to Richards and we need to find one soon. Pryor loses out in the air though, and now because he's been out the side a few games he's not matched for either, and that could cause yet further problems. Anderson on the edge for Chippenham, plenty of time, he's been given the world at his feet, the defender's running away from him, what on earth's going on? From how good we were against Havant last week, this is an absolute shocking show. It's still 0-0 between Dulwich and Billericay, that's what we've got to keep an eye on again. But even if that is a draw, it'll still be down to 5 points as we're throwing away a golden opportunity. Again is Chippenham coming forward. I just don't know how to explain this. Whatever mentality we've been on, we've thrown it away. Anderson should have scored there. And it's 2-0 down and it could be more. It's been one of the worst performances of the season. Well, it's full time, we've lost 2-0. I don't quite know how to explain the difference in this game. We were a completely different side to the one that comfortably beat Havant, and as a result we've got to tell the lads we're disappointed. We trailed following the early goal and never looked like winning, but thankfully I think Billericay have got a point, and that's managed to keep us 5 clear. So we're certainly not in great form going into the closing stretch, although it does make for a very exciting title race. We finally lose and Pryor's on a goal drought, and we've also been linked with the Gillingham job in recent weeks. Sounding a little bit strange, they're a League 2 club, but it looks like we're attracting Football League attention. But before we finish the episode, let's very quickly look at the youth intake preview as promised. If we go and see who the candidates are going to be, and the main line is the bottom one I'm afraid, don't expect much from this youth intake. There's plenty of wide midfielders and wingers, one of them looks handy, we've got a decent young English striker from Dorking who looks okay, but aside from that it's a pretty poor intake, and I don't think we're going to have much luck there again. If we can get a great striker then fantastic. Pryor's of course 32 years of age now, and you can see the goals are starting to dry up for him, so we may need to find a replacement soon. But if we go to the schedule and look at the end of the season, you can see what the excitement is at the end. The last 2 games are Dulwich, Hamlet and Bath away. Bath chasing a playoff place, Dulwich, Hamlet our closest title rivals. You couldn't ask for 2 better games than that, but I hope it'll be wrapped up before then. So if we've got a chance to wrap the title up, we will come back before, but I've got a sneaky feeling that penultimate game will be crucial, and I think that one's going to feature heavily in the next episode. But if you did enjoy this episode and the 2 very contrasting performances within it, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the performances, what you think of the squad moving forward, and of course the board takeover as well. We've got a crucial end to the season coming up, and I'm hoping we can respond in the next 2 games. Back to home comforts against mid-table sides. Fingers crossed we'll be able to get 2 results. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content, firstly from this story with Dorking Wanderers, then from next Monday the head coach will start as well, our long-term journeyman story, with a director of football challenge thrown in too. There's also one more episode of my Be to Save with Luton Town to come, as we desperately try to avoid relegation, so make sure you join me on Saturday for that too. It certainly promises to be a tense one. But a massive thanks for watching this video and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you tomorrow for another crucial episode as we try to wrap up the National League South title.